I'm in a lake I've never been in before again. I asked permission. Worst they could do is say no. They didn't. If you've watched our show much, you know I love to fly fish. You know I love to watch that little bug get hit by a big old bluegill. Some reports of some big bluegill in here. Oh, that was a fish. That was a nice bluegill. I'm hoping that's what I think it is. Female, looks like she's getting close. Now it's a bit early, and we've had a long, cool spring, but I am really hoping that there's a few bluegill. I want to start the homemaking process. Here's something. Let's see what we got. Ooh. Sometimes I take for granted that people, you know, have been doing this sort of stuff their whole life, but every now and then, I get a look inside the real world of what's going on out there. There are people in their 20s, 30s that have never fished before in their life, and they're just now starting to get interested in it. It's spring. Bluegill are wanting to go on a nest. They go close to the bank, and they dig them out a little hole, a little indentation. She comes in there and lays her eggs in there, and he defends the nest. There he is. They just want whatever it is that's in their area. In this case, a popper, which has rubber band legs sticking out of the side. Looks like some bug. And for all he knows, they want to eat his eggs, so they're coming to swack at it. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Come on in here. If they got up to 10 pounds, you couldn't catch one. Look at there. Now that's a bluegill. You talk about hand-sized bluegill, that's more like a head, face-sized bluegill. He's mean. I'm gonna catch some more of them. You know, you heard me talk about when they're on the nest. Well, when you throw your bait up in an area where they just, almost every caster smacking a fire out of it, you can generally tell that you're onto a nesting area. Oh man. I don't know why, but I feel more adrenaline on one of these than I do a big old bass. I don't understand it, but maybe it's just part of that being the first thing you did, first kind of fishing you were exposed to. Now there's a lot of things you could use. You could throw a worm in there, you could throw a cricket in there. You could throw just about anything in there with a small enough hook that they can get their mouth on, and they may get riled up enough to hit it. Now they are a little more vulnerable during their breeding season. Gee, look what a fatty. Look what a fatty. Oh, look at that. Look how thick that fish is. That's the biggest one yet. Talk about tackle. You can find fly rods nowadays for very reasonable amounts of money. Get you a 5 or 6 weight rod, some 5 or 6 weight forward line. And a lot of people get really tore up about leaders. Well, let me tell you what I'm using. Braided 8-pound line, because they're paying way more attention to bug than they are the line. And if I get hung up in a tree, or if I get stuck in one's mouth and I'm having a hard time getting it out, I'm less likely to lose my bug if I get hung in the bank. And these bugs you used to get everywhere for a quarter. They're now about $1.57, and I don't like losing them. So as you can see, I'm catching plenty of fish. Folks I hung out with, my dad included, everybody had a fly rod when they were bluegill fishing. You either used a standard rod and a cricket and a bobber, or a fly rod. It wasn't thought of as fancy equipment. It was just part of your tackle, part of your gear. Oh, that's a nice one. That came out of the water. I saw the back on that one. Oh my goodness. Oh my. And when I would see my dad catch something like this, at an early age and catching more than we were on crickets and worms and not changing his bait every 2 minutes. Look at there. I wanted to try it. Big mama. Watch him cut through that water. That's a nice fish. That may be the best one right there of the day. Oh man. That's right, you're loose. I know you can't believe it. I'm not kidding you about bluegill. If I can get in some good sized bluegill on the fly rod, that's right where I want to be.